G'day viewers, how are ya? This is Michael here. I want to talk to you about rabbits and mainly about how do you sex them? How do you tell male from female? That's what it's going to be about all today. And that way you'll always be able to work out if it's a boy or a girl. So let's go in and get them. Just went in there. I prefer to have little bowls for my rabbits rather than nozzles, and I'm slowly changing them over. And the little bowls are great, except why do they want to poop in them when it's up that high? Anyway, this little one, he's either going to be a boy or a girl. It's going to be a surprise to you and me. Now, just relax. I'm just going to pat it for a while, so you know. Predators come in, they grab them from the back and they lift them off the ground. So rabbits like their feet on the ground, makes them feel secure. It's the same as rolling them on their back. They think the animal's rolling them over to tear their stomach out. So it's more of a fright thing, so you've got to build up a confidence. I have never handled my babies, just for argument's sake. I don't handle them because if I do, they're liable to have a problem. I love my little bunnies and I sell them. They pay the way for a lot of my other animals to have food. And if I have the adults, yes, I name them and friend them and all that. They're little fellas. If I do that, I'll never give them up. And I'll end up being like one of those people who have 50 cats, you know what I mean? I hope I haven't offended anybody with that, but you know what I mean. You can get excessive amount. Same as collecting. You might say, oh, I'll keep that for a rainy day. Well, the rainy day never comes until you sell it. Anyway, I digress here. All right. Now, I'm going to move a bit closer so we can talk about it. I'll tell you something funny about sexing in a second. Just wait a few seconds. So he didn't like that. So I've got to turn him over and I've got to hold him down. Rabbits have got a very soft spine. I actually did when in the early days, I accidentally killed one. He started to fall because he fidgeted. I grabbed him by the leg, and that was okay. Both legs actually. But he swung around and hit the side of my leg. Broke his back. I couldn't work out why he was bleeding out of his mouth. It was terrible. Anyway, what we're going to do here, he likes to cover his head up to make himself feel safe. But what I'm going to do is I pull down on his tail, and I pull down here, and I pull back. Now, does that look like a little tube to you? I've moved the light on me, a shade on it. See how it looks like a little tube at this early age? Well, and it's a fair way from the anus. That's a boy. Congratulations, you're a boy. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Oh, for your info, that was a black Flemish. This one, this beautiful little girl here, I know it's a girl because all the white ones this time were all girls. So, yeah, not hard to tell. Normally you get approximately a bit more boys, usually half and half. But every now and then you'll get all boys or almost all girls. Now, before we go much further, while I'm patting and getting him calm, her calm, I had a person come in here a little while ago and asked for a male and a female. I said, sure, no problem. And I gave him a male and a female, and he went off and he said, I'm going back to where I work. I work at in a place called Gosford, and it's about 20 k's back towards Sydney. Anyway, see, I'm about an hour and a half from Sydney. I'm on the Central Coast, it's called. I'm north of Sydney. It's a pretty nice climate. I think it's a Goldilocks climate. We don't get the snow, The summer's a bit on the nasty side, can be, but hey, that's why God made air conditioning. Anyway, because he made us, you know, so whatever we make, he makes. Now, anyway, they bought these bunnies, and he said he's taking them back down to the race course where he works, and a vet came over and said, oh, let me show me your rabbits. So I love rabbits. And she said, oh, he made a mistake, he gave you both girls. He rang me up and said, the vet told me you gave me both girls. I said, hey, it can happen. Rabbits are small, and when they're young, and this one here is approximately 6 weeks old. It was easier. And the younger you get, the harder it gets. You got to have, but it's not about being a vet makes a difference, in my opinion. What makes a difference is good eyesight, and that's the difference, because it's all down to eyesight. So I like to come out of my rabbitry when I've got a rabbit to show people. It's too dark in there. So anyway, I digress. And I said, come bring it back in, I'll have a look at it. So they came back in, and I said, now, like I said, I can make a mistake, so it happens. That's why I don't mind swapping them back or doing something, you know. And he said, bring it over to me, but I think I'm right. I think they're wrong. And he brought it over, and I said, and I pulled him over, and I did what I did on that little black one. And I said, what does that look like to you? A straw or a split? And he said, a straw. I said, are you sure about that? He said, it's very clear, it's a straw. I said, exactly. So I said, the vet was wrong, see? So don't be, just because the vet says something doesn't mean it's right. It's more likely it could be right, but not always right. But I have them telling me that wire cages are no good. What do you want to put them in? Wood cage? Yeah. Well, with wood cage you get lice, you get fleas, you get bacteria a lot more because you're not on wire. There's a multitude of problems with it. And secondly, I won't go into that. I'll save that for another day about that. But anyway, I'm going to sex this little girl. Look at that. See that? She wants to hide her head. Thinks, oh, I'm going to die. Now, pulling back, I pulled down the tail. Pulled down the tail. And opened it up. Now, have a look at the anus to the slit. It's a slit, you can see that. I'm pushing down, but it's still staying as a slit. That's where people make the mistake. They see it looks like it still pops up, but it's a slit rather than a circle. And look how close it is to the anus. So clearly it's a girl. Those two are easy ones. It was because of the light, and they're pretty big for their age. But even if it was big, smaller, the principle is exactly the same. On the bigger males, oh gee, it's so obvious. And scary. It looks like a fish hook on some. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you got something out of that. If you did, big thumbs up. Ring that notification bell, and please subscribe, because without you, there's no me. Just go home, my little bunny. Just go back to your brothers and sisters. Mummy's probably wondering where you are. Here, Mummy. Here's your baby. Yeah, it's all good, Mummy. It's all good. It's all good, Mum.